Today, we're diving into a wild Cambodian folktale about two tricksters, a dead man who talks, and how a single secret can spiral completely out of control. My sword is incredibly sharp, he warned. It's made from a magnet, but listen carefully. Do not open it unless you absolutely need to. If you draw it on the road, you won't be able to sheath it again, and its flash will blind you. I only sell it because I'm starving. Akak, playing along, gave the jar to Akil, and my prahak is incredibly delicious, he advised. But don't open the jar until you're ready to eat, or the air will spoil it. The best way is to open it and eat it right away. With their trade complete, they parted ways, each believing he had outsmarted the other. When Akak got home, he excitedly told his wife, "Hurry and cook. I've brought home some delicious prahak." His wife was thrilled. "Where did you get it?" she asked. "I traded my little sword for it with a man named Akila," he boasted. His wife beamed, thinking her husband was a brilliant trader. She grabbed a dish and a knife to open the jar. Prying it open, she reached inside to scoop out the paste. The moment she put her fingers to her mouth to taste it, her face twisted in disgust. "Ugh, this stinks like manure. Come and taste this." Akuk took a taste and spat it out. "It is manure," he grumbled, as his wife vomited, furious at him. Meanwhile, Akil arrived home, laughing. He told his wife, "You won't believe it. I traded a jar of manure for this huge sword." Just then, a dog started to relieve itself on his flowers. Akil, wanting to show off his new weapon, grabbed the sword to scare the dog away. He drew the blade and out came the tiniest little sword you've ever seen. He and his wife looked at each other, then burst into laughter. Well, Akil said, "It seems Akik is just as clever as I am. I think I've found my new best friend." So Akak went looking for Akil, and Akil went looking for Akak. They met on the road, and instead of being angry, they both smiled. "I was coming to find you," said Akil, "to ask you to be my partner." Akek grinned. "I was coming to ask you the same thing." From that day on, they decided to combine their wits and trick people together. Their first target was the family of a newly deceased rich man. As the family wept around the coffin, Akek and Akil hatched a plan. Akek would write a fake letter, while Akil would sneak into the coffin with the body. While the family was distracted by their grief and prayers, Achiel silently slipped inside the casket. Then Akak approached the family, holding the letter. He presented it to them, and they read it aloud. To my dear foster son Akak, I am old now. Please come and take all my goods. The family was suspicious. The letter had no signature or official stamp. This can't be real, they said. Akok replied calmly, if you don't believe the letter, then ask your father yourself. If he doesn't answer, then you'll know I'm a liar. The rich man's son, skeptical but curious, leaned over the coffin and called out, Father, is it true? Did you give this man a letter to take your possessions? From inside the coffin, a muffled voice replied, Was Achiel? Yes, son, I did. Load all of my goods onto a big cart and give them to him. The family was stunned. Their dead father was talking. Frightened and confused, some wanted to open the coffin, but their relatives warned against it, saying the sight of the corpse would bring nightmares. So, believing the voice, they loaded up a cart with all their valuables and gave it to Akak. Akak drove the cart away, and once they were at a safe distance, Achiel crept out of the coffin and ran to meet him. They were rich, but they were also hungry. We can't stop to cook, Achiel said. Thieves might rob us. You wait here with the cart, and I'll go beg for some food in the next village. But greed had already poisoned their friendship. As Achiel begged for food, he put poison in the portion he planned to give Akak, intending to keep all the treasure for himself. Back at the cart, Akak was thinking the exact same thing. He set a deadly trap along the path, waiting for Achiel to return. Achiel ate his share of the food and started back towards the cart, carrying the poisoned meal for his partner. As he approached, he walked right into Akok's trap and was killed instantly. Akok, seeing his friend fall, celebrated his victory. He ran straight for the food Achiel had brought and began to eat it ravenously. A few moments later, the poison took effect, and he died right there on the spot. The two tricksters lay dead on the road. The oxen, still yoked to the cart, eventually wandered off, breaking the yoke and leaving the cart full of treasure stuck in the mud by a lake. The next morning, a poor but honest man was passing by and saw the abandoned cart. He was amazed by the wealth, but also afraid. A poor man like me doesn't just find treasure like this, he thought. If I take it home, it could bring danger. So he decided to do something drastic. He pushed the entire cart into the river, hiding it from view. When he got home, he decided to test his wife's trustworthiness. If she could keep a secret, he would go back, retrieve the treasure, and share it with her. He told her, I have to tell you something strange, but you must promise not to tell a soul. When I was in the restroom earlier, a crow flew out of my ... Well, you know. Don't tell anyone, or we could get in serious trouble. Of course, his wife couldn't keep such a bizarre secret. She immediately went to her neighbor and whispered, Can you believe it? My husband went to the restroom, and TWO crows flew out. But don't tell anyone. The neighbor told someone else, and that person told another. The story spread like wildfire, and with each telling, the number of crows grew. One crow became 2, then 5, then 7. Soon, the entire kingdom was buzzing with the story that a man had produced 10 crows from his rear end. The tale eventually reached the king, who was so intrigued that he summoned the man to his court. "Is this incredible story true?" the king demanded. The man bowed respectfully and explained everything. "Your Majesty, it was a lie I told to test my wife's ability to keep a secret. You see, I found a cart full of treasure, and I wanted to know if I could trust her before bringing it home. I can show you where it is." He then told the king about the cart he had pushed into the river. The king, impressed by the man's strange honesty and clever test, sent his soldiers to retrieve the cart. As a reward for his truthfulness and for turning over the treasure, the king gave the man half of all the goods. And so, the honest man, who understood the danger of a secret that couldn't be kept, ended up richer than the two greedy tricksters combined. It just goes to show a single lie can fly farther and faster than any bird, and true wealth often comes not from trickery, but from honesty. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more tales from around the world. See you next time.